This is the plaintiff, John Mooney. He says he purchased 200 silver half-dollar coins from the defendant, and when he got home and counted them, the guy shorted him 120 coins. That's right, he only gave him 80 coins. He purchased 200, and mistake or no mistake, he wants the $1,050 he's owed because he didn't get what he bought. This is the defendant, Gerald Kramer. He says all the coins were counted out right before the plaintiff's eyes. Then 2 years later, the guy calls him and says a mistake was made because he's short coins. He's sorry, but 2 years later, and now he's suing? It's like going to Tiffany's and 2 years later saying the 27-stone ring you sold me only has 12 stones in it. Sounds crazy, right? He's accused of miscounting.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff bought 200 coins from the defendant and says he was shorted by 120 coins. But the defendant says the plaintiff didn't complain for 2 years. It's the case of I coin you crooked.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, John Mooney, you are suing Gerald Kramer and Smithtown Coins Incorporated for $1,050 because according to you, 120 coins are missing from a purchase that you made.
Correct.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Okay. Well, I've met Mr. Kramer in 1993. I had purchased coins off from the fellow that recommended him. Said he's a very honest guy, and he was. I had a great experience, and I looked to buy coins in 2014. So
you bought what?
Originally, I bought, they call it 300 count of quarters for $5,100. That was on the 12th of May. I sent them a check, and I called them that afternoon. I said, Jerry, the check is in the mail. And he says, oh, by the way, he said, when we talked the other day, you mentioned you wanted some half dollars, 50-cent piece. I said, yeah. He says, I got some in. If you want, you can get some. So I said, all right, I'll take an order of $100. That would be $100 face value, which come out to $1,750.
Because it's silver.
Silver. Oh, I meant to mention. So these are 90% silver coins. Now, the morning...
So they date from when?
They date from way back when.
Way back when? Would they date from when? Can you be more specific?
I've seen some from the 1800s to 1964 is the last valid silver coin.
Okay. So you come up to where? Where does the transaction take place?
Smithtown Coin and okay. Main Street in Smithtown.
Okay.
On a Saturday, I called them.
How long ago?
It was over 2 years ago.
Okay.
2.5 years ago.
Okay. So go ahead.
The original agreement was the quarters were going to be loose in a bag, which I have the bag here. This is the large bag.
Okay. Did you count the quarters?
The quarters, no, they were counted by a machine. There's no discrepancy there. I did count them later on.
Okay, I'm sorry. There's no discrepancy where? That's the whole discrepancy.
Well, no, the half dollars is the discrepancy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. So did you count the half dollars?
When I got there, they were I was caught off guard. The coins were laid out in a sort of like a velvet tray, or a felt tray.
Okay.
And this was on the side, the coin bag. And I said they were supposed to be in rolls. They weren't. They were all loose, and there were 80 coins. I ended up getting 40 face value coins. It's supposed to be 100 face value coins, which would be 200 coins. 200 of the half dollars.
Okay.
That's what I paid for.
Right. And then 2.5 years later, when you're counting them, there's 80 coins there.
There's 80 there.
So you're saying, oh, he must have shortchanged me 2.5 years ago. That's
correct. Now,
how are you going to prove that?
Well, this whole thing was a thing of trust.
Let me hear from you. How did the transaction go down?
Well, for demonstration, I want to show you.
Okay.
This is what he says. He got $40 in face amount, which is 80 coins.
Okay.
Okay. This is 100 face.
Okay.
I think it's fairly obvious that if you have all of these, which is $60 in face, and this is $40 in face, that you would easily see the discrepancy.
Well, it's actually worse than that.
Yeah,
How much is in the big blue bag?
in here,
In face, how much?
60.
$60?
Right,
Okay.
and this is-
But what you were actually selling him was what?
100 altogether.
100 in face
Yeah,
altogether.
he says he got 40, but.
Okay.
So you need.
Can I see the coins?
Yeah, sure.
Now, these of course are not the coin, you didn't bring the
No,
coins
I
that you,
didn't
right.
bring the coins.
No, but that's indicative of.
Wow, they're heavy.
Now, in the course of counting them and so forth, Mr. Mooney rejected a lot. He kept, like, this one's no good, this one's no good, no good. There were about 40 coins that he rejected, maybe more. And I remember at the time, I said to him, I would substitute better coins for you, only as a favor to a customer. In other words, I didn't.
And did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, when a customer comes and buys coins from you, they don't count it?
I count them in front of him usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you do that in this case?
Absolutely.
All right, so were you surprised to hear from him 2.5 years later and have him tell you shortchanged me?
He called me and said that he was missing $60 in face. I said, what do you want from me? You got them. And after 2.5 years, I mean.
Oh, so what are each of these worth?
At the time that he purchased them, they were worth 17 times face, or $8.50.
Right, and what are they worth now?
Less.
Right.
They're worth 15 times face.
So the dude didn't complain for 2.5 years. Is he out of luck?
I feel like if he cared about the coins that much, he would have counted them right away.
That's probably true, but he didn't count them, he says, for 2.5 years. Does that alone knock him out of court?
Yes, it does, because he didn't count for 2.5 years, then, oh well, you're out of luck.
Or it may be a little shady, right?
A little.
Yeah, going inside the courtroom.
I have, this is not a receipt, but this was with the order of coins.
And what's that going to prove to me?
Well, it's going to say that I received the $40, where I was paid for $100 in a check.
I'm sorry, what is that?
Now,
What is this?
That's stating that I got the 300 and quarters and $40 face and 50 cents. Those
Where
coins.
did you get, what is this?
That's from Mr. Kramer. That slip was with the order. I didn't get a receipt.
Did you see this? Did he ever talk to you about this?
I did.
I'm not
Oh,
asking
I'm sorry.
you. Did he send you this?
I think I got a copy of that, yeah.
Okay, and is this your handwriting?
I
Okay, well, we'll bring it to you because a person knows their handwriting.
yeah. Yeah, I would say.
Okay.
Well, see, it says 300 face quarters. That's not in dispute. He's
Right.
not disputing that.
So was there some other time that he bought 300 face
The
quarters?
other $40 is probably the rejected coins that he already paid for. So I wrote that it was paid for.
Okay, then now I'm going to need to see that, and you're going to need to explain that again to me while I'm looking at it. Go ahead.
Now, under there, it says $40, $half, Walking Liberty, $half,
40 face, which
Right.
means what?
80 coins.
80
Yeah.
coins.
So
Okay.
he's saying that he only received 40 face, but he received 100 face. But on the rejects, I probably wrote that the rejects were paid for.
But this is your handwriting, right?
Yes.
Okay, and why do you get a receipt that says that you get 40 if you, 40?
Instead of 100.
I keep getting confused because we're talking about 40 face, that's 80 coins, right? All right. So why do you have a receipt that says that, and you're happy-go-lucky and you leave with it and there's no problem, if in fact you bought more than that? Because what you're saying is you gave him how much?
I gave him I gave him $5,100 and $1,750.
Which would have covered how many coins?
400.
Okay, then why did you accept the receipt that said 340?
I got confused.
This is like, it's almost a half an inch tall. It's very tall, and it says that a transaction different than the one that both of you have described occurred. Is
Right.
this for tax reasons, gentlemen? Is
No.
that why this happened?
No.
Why does this happen?
Could I say
How do
something?
both people not realize this? Because you are
I-
acknowledging, it's not like you're coming in here and saying, hey, all he bought was this. You're saying he did buy more.
Yeah.
So why did this occur?
I don't know. That's not normal to what we give out.
Now you're saying that there should be 100
Face value, which would be 200 coins.
200 coins of 50-cent pieces. And you're agreeing that it was.
Yeah. But
Then you shorted him because you gave him a receipt for that, and that's what
Yeah,
he
but
counted.
that's
It
not a
starts to
receipt.
buttress what he's saying.
Your Honor, that isn't a receipt for anything. I don't know.
I don't know. It looks like it's in your handwriting. It says John M. paid $300 face for quarters and $40 face for 50-cent pieces, which means 80 50-cent pieces.
Your Honor.
And you acknowledge that he bought 250-cent pieces and paid you for it, so that would mean that you shorted him.
But whatever that paper is, number one, it's from 2.5 years ago.
No, I understand that. I've got all he has to do is show it's more likely than not that he was shortchanged. If all he did was count it 2.5 years later, I'd say, except for that he's showing me this, which you acknowledge you gave him.
Where are the other $60 face?
Exactly.
Well, I don't have them. He had them.
Exactly. Where's the other $60?
Well, he had them. I don't know.
Exactly. Where's the other $60 face? And I've got to ask this of the guy who writes this receipt. That's who I've got to ask it of. My verdict in this case, based on what I have heard, is for the plaintiff in the amount of the $1,050. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Plaintiff is lucky that he had the paper proof, but I got to tell you, when you buy something, you got to thoroughly inspect and stat.